Today we're at the Shambhala Studios in Nelson here on Lakeside Drive, and we're going to go in and meet Corrine. She's the executive producer. This is the main office, as I said.
Hello.
Hi, Corrine. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good
So
to
this
see
is
you.
Shambhala
Yeah,
Studios.
welcome to our studios. Can I show you around?
Sure. Is this like the main office, or sort of?
It is. Yeah, this is the main office. So
Okay.
this is where we do. We have operations probably 10 months of the year. A lot of us are moving out to the farm for July and August. So. And then we move back in September.
10 whole months you spend in here, eh?
Yeah.
It's become quite a big production over the
Full-time
years.
people. We have at least 20 full-time staff year round. I think we're up to. Well, we're up to a lot of employees.
Fantastic. Let's meet the friendly, loving
This
crew.
is my little office. So. I have my library. I try to find as much information about events and festivals from around the world as possible. So this is the little hub of my office.
So this is where the Shambhalove kind of extends out from here.
Oh yes.
Fantastic.
Zone. I'm part of our production zone. We have HR, social media, talents, and yeah, some other very talented, wonderful people.
What are all these people doing here?
Oh gosh, we've got HRs recruiting for 1,200 different positions, so we have to hire and recruit. Liam and Brittany work on media, so they're working on the website, social media, Facebook, Twitter, our YouTube channels. Right now we're working on some awards.
Yes, just working on getting these applications for the IFEA Awards out today.
Well, a few years ago, weren't you rated one of the top 10 festivals in the world?
Yeah, we have a wall of awesome over here with all of our awards.
Fantastic.
So we're trying to get even more. And then Christine works in the talent department, so she's coordinating over 300 talent in and out of the show site this year, plus guests. So we have people coming from all over the world. So it's.
And you started in 1998, eh?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I met Jimmy back then. It was like he was just a young.
I remember you too, because we were doing the dinner theaters and dragon dancing, and we were doing all that kind of stuff before we even birthed Shambhala. Like there was so much creativity around, and I really think that a lot of our success is based on that cultural creativity.
That's when the seed was planted. Now it's a gigantic forest of love.
I know.
Beautiful.
This is my wonderful assistant, Jennifer.
Oh, hi, Jennifer. How are you?
So this is the site tech office. Jennifer's just got some quiet time back here. So a lot of our stuff is moving. These shelves were filled last week, but we've got tech boards. Tom runs our entire networking. So telephones and computer networking around the farm. Technical support is huge out there.
You definitely couldn't do this kind of a festival without the computer technology we have today. It would be almost impossible.
A little harder.
So Tom puts boards up and devices all over the farm.
Okay.
So Jeremy is helper.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hi.
I've only been here 5 minutes, but it feels everybody's really friendly and comfortable. There's an air of relaxation around here.
Yeah, it is still community. Like we call it family, because it's
call
like
it
family. It's like we're family, but we all share the farm together, and there is a sense of that here. We really lean on each other. Like events are just, it's a massive undertaking, and you're working with these people so closely, and there's a lot of ups and downs, but there's a lot of true success when you see the party go off and everybody together. Pardon the mess, we are in the midst of the move.
So it's 5 weeks before the festival, is it?
Yeah, well actually we're 24 days before we open.
24 days.
This is our board table. We do a lot of mapping work, just trying to figure out the traffic flow and how things are going to move around the farm. Every year we make a couple changes, so they get reflected in our mapping.
So you're learning every year.
Oh yeah.
Always improving.
Gosh, learning all the time. Ricardo's working in our cultural. I thought he might join us today too for a little.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
So over here.
So we're going to join you. I didn't realize you were coming apart.
Yeah. Well, just this one.
Okay.
Back in.
So this year we bought a giant printer, so we're able to do all of our own signage.
Oh, good for you.
Incredible. It's been such an effective way to mass produce art around the show. And then we can be very flexible.
What size of a poster can you make on this gigantic
This
machine?
is a huge banner, so we can go up to 4 feet wide and as long as we want.
4 by whatever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Plus we have a laminator, and then we also have a vinyl cutter. Well, I'll show you.
Well, this is also a vinyl cutter, so it doesn't just print; it also cuts.
Wow,
so
incredible.
yeah.
Boy.
And for us, we don't
54
have
inches.
advertising. We don't have any sponsors. So for us, our messages are about art and about culture. This one right here is about respect the river. So we really want to incorporate art and positive messaging into our festival rather than buy Coca-Cola.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because you don't have sponsors, you're free to say what you want.
That's right.
And share your message.
And art and culture is so important to us. It's what we want to highlight. So. Yeah.
Years ago,
Okay.
you donated $75,000 to Selkirk College for the music and performance hall.
Yeah, I mean, but we started kind of there with the sub pub. We did so many, we did Please Charleston Quietly, the 1930s speakeasy dinner theater night, and we did a lot of things in that area. So when it came up that they wanted to retrofit their sound studio or their studio, we were like, yeah, we'll be on board with that. I mean, kids need that. We need to have like great facilities to produce great art students,
And they were very grateful because they named the hall after Shambhala, didn't they? Oh, you make your own buttons now.
In-house now, so it's fun. Sometimes the kids are getting in here and just making random buttons.
Wonderful.
We actually started a campaign with Salmo. I love Salmo, and we're hoping that they raise a lot of funds through their button making or button selling. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, and a lot of these are gifts too. A lot of them
Yeah.
hand out the Shambassadors, hand them out as gifts to people on the farm and welcome them, and yeah, it's like a little keepsake for people to take home.
So you're located right here, right behind Kootenai Glass and Mirror, right?
Yeah, they're our brand new neighbors. They used
The
to
metal
be
shop.
The crew is moving out to the farm, so it's a pretty naked version. But we've been mass assembling metal for giant lanterns. We made a giant dragon out of metal for our show site this year, and lots of different kinds of motifs. So
These are like the metal props? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, these actually will be a lantern. So these will be mounted. This was a prototype. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I hope
and
it's
they're
gonna-
actually going to be painted, and what we're doing now too is using all of our tools. We have the printer and the laminator and all that stuff, so we can print stuff that sticks onto the metal, so we actually don't even have to paint it anymore.
Wow.
So we're using all of our tools. We're learning as we go along how they all work together. And the thing about metal is the sheet metal is a very inexpensive material to get. So we actually get a lot of value. We have Copper Chris, who's our main artist who designs all of this stuff, and it's really been an incredible experience to watch him grow and figure out how to use all these tools and all these different materials.
Bending metal.
There are so many gifted artisans working on Shambhala. It's incredible.
Yeah.
How many people does it take to actually organize and run the whole operation?
We have 1,200 workers, and then we have, well, it's about 2,000 when you call in all the contractors and whatnot. This was kind of an experiment as well. But
another
again,
prototype.
with bending and
This they did with the printer. So they printed a harder cardstock paper, and then we don't have the bender here, but they have a machine that they can bend all of these things. So they do prototypes in paper, and then they move on to the metal. And then this is what I was saying, is that rather than painting the metal, we can actually use
You can
stuff from the
apply
printer and
vinyl to
apply
it.
onto the metal. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. So
Excellent. Okay.
huge group of
the
people.
voyage of
working
artistic
together.
discovery.
Cutter now, so we're really trying to integrate different materials.
The CNC cutter?
CNC cutter. So let's take a look. So the CNC cutter actually follows. It's a computerized doweling almost that cuts out according to a computer pattern.
I see.
So we load the machine with the pattern that we want to cut, and then it will automatically cut out the edges. So what's happening here is this is an example even of the metal cutting. We take a full sheet and we're trying to maximize it out, just like a pattern, like you would with sewing. You
I
want
see.
to maximize your yardage. Copper Chris is amazingly brilliant at this. And he takes all these pieces and he'll eventually punch them out, sand them down, and fold them all into each other, and there'll be some of the motifs on the buildings.
And what's really great about this, last year we had to do it by hand, and we had somebody with a saw, but with the CNC cutter, it actually doesn't go all the way through. It creates little clips that you can still pick up the piece of plywood in one piece and then punch out where the CNC is cut. So it's an incredible tool. We're just in the voyage of discovery with the CNC cutter. So,
but with this, along with the metal and the printing, it's really amazing. You've got all these tools that you can work with mass artwork. Pretty exciting.
Fantastic.
It's her farm.
So why don't you give us a proper introduction here?
Yeah, so this is my mom. She's Sue Bunchu, and she's the owner of the Salmo River Ranch along with my dad. And she's also our payroll officer.
Oh, you got to keep the books in order when you're running a festival of this size.
Oh yeah,
it's a challenge.
You know, I was telling Corrine that I met Jimmy in 1998 actually, at the very beginning.
Yeah.
He was just a young whippersnapper then, sort of saying, I want to have a rave. And how many people would have thought that a family moved? Did you move from Alberta?
No, we moved from the Okanagan.
From the Okanagan, who bought a 200-acre piece
500 acres.
500 acre on the Salmo River would turn out to be one of the best festivals on the planet.
I know.
Oh, Jimmy believed. I was like, oh, sure.
Yeah, he had the vision, but it's taken everybody else to carry it forward. It's really developed into something beautiful.
Yeah. And speaking of payroll,
you're off to work.
Okay.
This is another new toy. This is a 3D printer. So this is actually one of the new printing technologies. Do we have any examples? I love the Eiffel Tower. So we actually printed this.
Is that right?
That's a printed image. So what it does is it slowly builds. It's new technology, and it builds the image as it goes up. So it kind of builds it from the bottom up.
So it starts in the bottom and works out and up at the same time in 3 dimensions.
It's pretty incredible. There was one with a piece inside of it too. Do you remember? That was really interesting. So this is just, we don't even know where we're going with this, but it's great. You have all these creative tools and technology, and we're layering it on top of the natural setting of the farm. And we just don't know what this will be one day.
I think that the coolest thing we've done, I mean, we can make Eiffel Towers and little castles, which really don't do much for the festival, but they're fun to have on our map.
Yeah, they do though, but they evoke ideas.
They evoke ideas, and what we did is we have all of our golf carts, and we took the Yamaha sign and we made it into a Shamaha.
Oh wow,
and
really?
So we printed it in 3D, we used our printer and we put a chrome wrap on it and stuff. So we've recreated a Yamaha looking logo, but they're all Shamaha.
Wow.
Yeah.
So fun, and I really think that these little touches in a festival are really what makes the magic happen.
Yeah, you guys seem to be on the cutting edge of all the new technologies too when it comes to design and production.
The Dream Factory, let's call it that. So this is Ricardo's station here with the lovely unicorn. Ricardo is our cultural director, so he mainly works on the cultural look and feel of the festival itself. So
yeah,
as well as
marketing and media and the Shambassador program and little tidbits.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Corrine calls me a cultural director. I call myself an Imagineer because I find I have to think up a lot of stuff, and I stole that term from Disney.
And you know, there's a warm, pleasant waft in the air. Are you also a coffee lover around here?
Oh yes. Okay, so our coffee maker. Would you like a coffee?
Sure, let's have a coffee.
Yeah, okay. So last year we started a new program with Oso Negro. We actually built our own coffee station out at the farm. We called it the Night Owl.
Oh, great.
We built a beautiful metal owl above it. So our beans are Oso Negro blends,
good,
especially for Shambhala.
Excellent.
And we take these coffee makers to the show and we sell coffee, and then we also have some of our Shambhala mugs as well.
So you support them and they support you. And that is, you recently purchased the old Savoy Inn.
Yes, this is very exciting.
Now the Savoy Inn, for people who don't know, is a derelict building that burned down years ago, and it used to be actually quite a hub itself. You've got some roots there too, don't you?
We totally do. You know, one of our stages actually came from the nightclub downstairs, so it was called the Avalon back in the day, yes. And it's now our village stage. But we thought we were going to carve out this little bit of the woods, and it was going to be a little local sort of flavor. I mean, now we have international talent. It's a huge stage, but definitely roots there. And I think we had Shambhala meetings in the basement and off hours when we had no office space.
So what are you going to do there?
Well, we want to resurrect all the old businesses that were once there. So resurrect the nightclubs, the restaurants, and the hostel upstairs. So.
And I see City Hall's quite happy about that. I read in the paper that John Dooley's giving you all the support that they can because you're actually revitalizing that part of town. It's kind of gone downhill, and it kind of leads to Train Town, which is something else developing. So
that's right.
Once again, Shambhalove is sort of flowing into the heart of Nelson now.
Yeah, well, I think it's so sad that that whole corner is kind of it's a little bit naked. There's no
Yes.
businesses, there's lots of empty windows, and in my mind, it was a cultural hub of Nelson. Like, you know, that's where we saw a bass nectar for the first time and convinced him to come to Shambhala and play with us, you know? So there's a lot there for us in that building, and you know, we're currently working with architects in the building and the building.
It's totally gutted, right? Is that right now?
It is. So anything's possible at the moment. So I'd love to be able to share with you once we actually have our final plans and we could take a walk through the building, but we're not quite ready for that.
The dream is alive right now.
The finance department.
Finance department. So
Where dollars make a lot of sense.
that's right. So,
well, this is a real labyrinth, eh, this building?
yeah, and half the people are gone on the farm right now. So, food and beverage administration, we have ticket administration and Shambhala lodging. Andy, our computer programmer, has actually moved on out to site. So I was in charge of food vendors.
Hi.
So we have department leads, and then we have team leads underneath them. Kathy Kell's in charge of food and beverage, but under food and beverage are like 8 teams. Each one of those teams has a lead.
So you have to have some kind of hierarchical sort of distribution and
or the
setup.
information just doesn't flow. So yeah.
Well, I see you're also supporting a lot of computer and software companies.
Gosh, I think we're support. These are some financial brains. They make all the money work.
Oh, hi, Kara.
And Megan's in charge of a lot of retail functions on the farm. So
Hi.
she just started off with Shambhala lodging, and now what are you doing?
All retail points of sale.
Which are?
Smoking House and Boutique, Base Camp, Artisan Vendor Market, showers, and I still manage Shambhala lodging a little bit.
Wow.
I think that's it.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. And then my sister, she's on the farm today. She works here, Anna. And my mom works with Alicia as a new hire. She's fabulous.
Hi, Lisa.
Hire.
Lisa and Mom again.
Yeah, Alicia.
The Queen Bee.
Exactly.
Starting out the payroll.
Okay, excellent.
So there you go. There's our grand
Tour of the Shambhala Studios here in Nelson, where the offices are and where the creative hub is, and here we have a little bit of special effects being supplied by Ricardo.
Yeah, well, I just don't want her squinting.
I know, it's pretty bright
It's
out
pretty
here.
bright out today. So how about a few more words about the Savoy Inn and what your plans and ideas are there?
I'm so proud of everything we've done with Shambhala and the amazing, wonderful people that we have working for us, and I think we're ready for more. This has been our 16th year, and I feel like we still have a future, more of a future ahead of us. And when the Savoy building came up and we were like, I think we can do this, we got so excited, and I feel like we can hire a whole bunch more artists. We can really expand the arts and culture here in our town in Nelson. It's very important to me that Nelson remains kind of an ambassador for arts and culture in Canada. It's part of the reason that I love this place, and I want it to really showcase in the Savoy building. It's not going to be all electronic music. It's going to be art, culture, out and about community, and more of an extension of what we're already doing, but fully encompassing all arts and cultures.
Well, you know, for years Nelson was called, you know, the #1 small arts community in Canada, and I think in some ways over the years it was kind of resting on its laurels, and I think you guys have really resurrected that concept and really bringing Nelson up to the fore again.
Well, and it's where we started.
Yes.
Shambhala roots are definitely here. This is part of the art and culture that birthed us even. We were doing, you know, dragon dance parades and dinner theaters and always costumes and decor, so I'm excited to take it to the next.
It's back to the future with Shambhalove.
I know!
Back to the future.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ricardo.
Yeah, thank you, Raven.
And Corrine.
Thank you so much,
And we'll be
Raven.
doing your follow-up videos later on when you have the plans ready for the Savoy
That
right
sounds
ears. We can look at that, and maybe we'll slip out to the actual Shambhala Festival
sure.
grounds.
Oh, that would be fabulous.
Give us a tour.
I would love to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you so much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.